shadcn is my new favorite UI library. Recently, it added new components. These include carousel, drawer, pagination, resizable, and sonar component. They have added a fully featured carousel component with motion, swipe gestures, and keyboard support. It is built on the top of Ambla carousel, which is a lightweight carousel library with fluid motion and great swipe precision. It has some of the best carousels that we have ever seen. Coming back to shadcn carousel, it is really good. As you can see, it is changing really smoothly. You can use basis utility class to change the sizes of items. Even the vertical orientation is supported in this carousel. Next is a drawer component. It is based on a drawer component developed by Emil Kolsky. This drawer component can be even used in mobile and tablets. This is one of the best looking drawers I have ever seen. In this particular drawer, you can even decrease or increase the calorie count, and there is a bar chart and a submit or cancel button. You can create a drawer to edit a profile. Next, they have added a pagination component with page navigation, previous and next buttons. It is simple, flexible, and works with the framework's link component. One of the great features of shadcn components is that you can install them individually, and then you can use different parts of components by importing them from components/UI. Another great new addition is resizable component, which is used to build resizable panel groups and layouts. In this resizable component, you can resize different parts of UIs. This is the first time I have seen any component like this in any library. It is based on React resizable panels, which is developed by B1. You must have seen this type of component in a website like LeetCode, where you can change different parts of the UI. You can set the direction of the resizable panels with the direction prop, and by using the with handle prop, you can set or hide the handle. Sonar is another component which is also developed by Emil Kolsky, and this is also a very smooth looking toast component, and it's even very simple to use. Great thing about shadcn is that it is accessible, customizable, and open source. According to them, this is not a component library, it is a collection of reusable components that you can copy and paste into your apps. By that, they mean that you do not have to install it as a dependency, and it is not available or distributed as via npm. Pick the components you need, copy and paste the code into your project, and customize your needs. The code is yours. And then use this as a reference to build your own component libraries. There are lots of frameworks in which you can install and use it. The project of shadcn and the components inside it are written in TypeScript, so they recommend to use TypeScript for your project as well. The JavaScript version of the components is also available via CLI. To opt out of the TypeScript, you can use the tsx flag in your components.json file. The components.json file holds configuration for your project. Shadcn use it to understand how your project is set up and how to generate components customized for your project. You can set the schema, style for your components, and configuration to help the CLI understand how tailwindCSS is set up in your project. One thing to keep in mind is that all components are developed in tailwindCSS, so it's really beneficial to know about the tailwindCSS if you want to further customize the components of shadcn. For theming, you can choose between using CSS variables or tailwindCSS utility classes. If your project is new, you can use the init command to initialize configuration and dependencies. Also, every component is recreated in Figma with customizable props, typography, and icons. There is even a Figma UI kit open sourced by Petros Carousel. Now let's explore the different components. First component is accordion, which is a vertical stacked set of interactive headings that each reveal a section of content. An alert that displays a callout for user attention. An alert dialog that can open a modal. Avatar is an image element with the fallback for representing the user. And badge displays a badge or a component that looks like a badge. Button displays a button or a component that looks like a button. A really cool calendar component that is a date field component that allows user to enter and edit date. A card component that displays a card with header, content, and footer. A checkbox component is a control that allows a user to toggle between checked and not checked. Collapsible is an interactive component which expands and collapses a panel. Comma box is an autocomplete input and command palette with a list of suggestions. Command is fast, composable, unstyled component menu for React. You can show a table with data cable component, which is a powerful table and data grids built using time stack table. Date picker is a date picker component with ranges and presets. A dialog component is a window overlaid on either the primary window or another dialog window. A drop-down menu displays a menu to the user, such as a set of actions or functions triggered by a button. A React hook form component is used for building the form inside shadcn using the React hook form and Zod. Hover card is for sighted users to preview content available behind a link. An input component displays a form input field or a component that looks like an input field. Label component renders an accessible label associated with the controls. A menu bar is a visually persistent menu common in desktop applications. Navigation menu component is a collection of links for navigating websites. A popover component displays a rich content in a portal triggered by a button. Progress component displays an indicator showing the completion progress of a task, typically displayed as a progress bar. Radio group is used to show a set of checkable buttons known as radio buttons where no more than one of the buttons can be checked at a time. Scroll area component augments native scroll functionality for custom cross-browser styling. Select displays a list of options for the user to pick from and triggered by a button. A sheet component extends the dialog component to display content that complements the main content of the screen. A slider component is an input where the user selects a value from within a given range. There are lots of other components in shadcn that you can explore.